This is what happens when 10 big companies and the government spend 5 years and $3 million on a game. It's called Driving in Tehran, and here's the rabbit hole that opened beneath it. Let's begin. It's 2005 in Iran, and news are breaking out about an upcoming major game release made by the traffic police. The trailers were being showcased on TV, featuring popular actors and characters, which built up massive hype around it. The main goal of the game was to teach traffic laws and promote safe driving. It was made by the traffic police after all, and they contracted a company called SRP to develop it. Sounds like a simple project, but the head of SRP, Dr. Sami, had much bigger ambitions. He wanted Iran and his company to enter the video game industry big, and he would do that by first making his own game engine, which took over 2 years and $2 million of taxpayer money to develop. Still, it wasn't enough, so he convinced 10 other companies to sponsor his game. He raised over $1 million this way and spent the next 3 years making the game. This was the official story, and it was looking good. 70 people spent 500,000 hours on the game and recreated one of the Tehran's 22 districts with advanced traffic AI and physics, totaling to over 10,000 lines of code. I'm sure they meant millions. The game would eventually come out with a price tag of $5, which was a lot. Iran is a country where piracy is legal. People were used to buying pirated game discs for $1 or $2, and SRP knew this, so they implemented 2 layers of DRM into the game, with the first one being the government. Dr. Sami basically threatened people who would attempt to crack the game, saying they'd be dealing with the police, talking about morals and advocating for copyright law while hypocritically using unlicensed FIFA 98 soundtrack in the trailer. On top of that, the game would require an activation code linked to your computer's ID and only accessible through either telephone or their website, which wasn't even up at the time, and the phone line was consistently busy during the launch week. The game would eventually be cracked at some point, and here it is. The main menu offers us with 2 paths that lead to 5 different endings, so here's the story. This guy owns a taxi company, with his employees consisting of Sia and Hutan families. The Hutan family are the good guys. They get paid minimum wage to make this guy lots of money. The Sia family, however, is more ambitious. They feel like they're not compensated for years of hard work at the taxi company, so they decide to meet the owner in the countryside and discuss business. It's all going well until Sia decides to shamelessly plug one of the game's sponsors into the conversation, which is his Dark Piss soda company. The owner goes mad as a result, and Sia leaves with the goal of taking over the taxi company. The owner, along with Hutan, get in a car and chase after him. In the Hutan path, we're presented with a choice of 5 vehicles, all of which are made by the largest automobile manufacturing company in Iran. Ico is the biggest sponsor of this game, so much that they removed every other car. For example, there's a Mercedes in the trailer and game files that is nowhere to be found in the final release. Even the cover car used to be different. The Ico rabbit hole goes much deeper, but for now, let's start the game using this insult of an automobile. This is just the beginning. The gameplay speaks enough of the car handling. They crank the gravity all the way up, which in racing games is a lazy move to make the cars more stable, and even that is not enough in this game. But considering these cars are made by Ico, I'd say it's accurate. Anyways, you'll see advertisement billboards every 50 meters or so, and these are actually the sponsors of the game. What surprises me is that they somehow convinced the marketing teams of 10 big companies to pay tens of thousands of dollars for a virtual billboard. And this was in 2005, in Iran. They sold NFTs at a time when the average person didn't know what internet or video game means. We reach the end of the level after a minute of driving and move on to the next one. That's Sia. I'm guessing this was intended to be a chase scene, but ended up being something that is going to chase me through my worst nightmares. We then reach the taxi company with the game transitioning into the taxi mode. Can you guess which button here starts the next level? Maybe the giant start button? Nope, that actually quits the game. Someone tried to prevent you from witnessing the horrors ahead, but I was unfortunate enough to find the real start button, so here we go. A cutscene doesn't play after the loading. Here it is from the game files. Hutan finds out that Sia and his family took all but one of the taxi vehicles, so instead of reporting them or going after them, he decides to keep working as the dumbass taxi driver that he is. The game basically turns into propaganda, telling you to earn money through legal means and obey traffic laws. But they mean it. In the taxi mode, you cannot go above the speed limit. If you crash the car, you lose money. If you break traffic laws, you get fined. But the most interesting thing is what happens when you run over pedestrians. The game crashes. It doesn't reset or show a game over menu, it simply quits. And before it does, it briefly shows up a message saying, you shouldn't play with people's lives. This was their idea of a video game. Obey the law, don't kill digital pixels, no fun allowed. They unironically made something that is best described as an anti-video game, and we're not even halfway through.